What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're back talking about Forza Horizon 3. This is my kind of little wishlist series, which I'm going to be doing probably weekly, to be honest. And this week we're going to go ahead and talk about customization. Now, before we go ahead and do that, I would like to make a little disclaimer. So, I'm basing this off the videos I have made previously. So I've made a location video, and I believe I've also made a video talking about the modes that should be in the game. So I'm going off that. So I'm basically going off that, assuming that turn 10 was to pick Japan as the place to do this race, assuming that drifting was a core part of this game, as well as drag races and all that kind of stuff. So I would like just to kind of make that clear before we start talking about customization and what I would personally like to see from Forza Horizon 3 customization, because honestly, there's a few things here and there. It's pretty good as it is, but there is a few things here and there which I would like to see revamped and just kind of improved overall. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. Okay, so firstly, I would like to say customization is something which should be a very kind of integral part of this game, not to the extent that Need for Speed does it. That's not what I want to see. You know, Need for Speed's customization based. That's there for a reason. You know, the crew, I think, does it very well. I do think all the parts should be licensed. That's my first point, is I would like to see fully licensed parts. That's seen in Forza Horizon 2 with all the body kits and stuff that we've seen in there. But I would like to see more licensed parts. Now, going into that, obviously more rims need to be there. There hasn't been much variation in Forza Horizon 2 compared to Forza 5, and then I believe there's probably less bumpers and stuff than Forza Horizon 1, if I'm not wrong. I think there is anyway. That's not a fact though, I may well be wrong on that. But you know, just having more rims I think is a definite must. I think just generally including more brands and just getting more variety is never a bad thing for the player. And as well as that, also wide kits. We need wide kits in Forza. It's something which the community has been asking for absolutely ages, much more than Forza Racing Leagues, may I add. Don't know why they didn't put it in the last game, especially as the Veal Slide 350Z from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is in the game. Obviously, if you get the Fast and Furious DLC, you get that Veal Slide kit already on the car. So I'm pretty sure it's something which can be easily done. I don't see any reason why it cannot be done, to be honest, especially as, you know, they have added all these Fast and Furious cars in Forza 6, where you can, you know, get all these extra kits, and a lot of them are wide kits. So, you know, wide body, I want to see Rocket Bunny, Liberty Walk, all the big ones, basically, in the game. And I do think it's something which is very possible, and it's something which, again, Forza fans have been asking for ages. You'll see if you go on to Forza and look at some of the top designs, they're all Rocket Bunny designs with little bolts in, like little painted bolts. And it's kind of a dumb decision, especially if it was based in Japan, not to put Rocket Bunny kits and stuff in. It just doesn't make sense to me. So wide kits and more rims are a must. The next one is kind of a small issue, but it's something which really needs to be fixed. Like, really needs to be fixed. And this is setting your track width. So currently in Forza, I don't believe there's actually any way of doing so. As far as I know anyway, especially in Forza Horizon 2, you can't set your track width, which kind of basically makes it so your wheels aren't flush with the wheel arch. Now, if you are going for that stance to look, which a lot of people do in Forza, or some people just literally go ahead, slam it down to -5 and just leave it at that, -5 degrees camber, and leave it at that. But if you're going to do that, I feel like, you know, adding the option to do your track width is very important, especially for the aesthetics of the car, and that's mainly what we're focusing on today. It's not the performance, it's more mainly the aesthetics and the customization visually. I feel like if you are going to, you know, have a camber feature, why would not have a track width feature, especially if you're going to add Rocket Bunny kits, and, you know, you've already got all these different types of separate bumpers, like front bumpers and back bumpers and that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense to me to not put a track width kind of meter on where you can put it a bit more out. So definitely addressing that issue. That's been an issue in Forza for a very long time, and you know, with kind of that flush look becoming even more prominent in car culture, and it's just generally, I feel like it's a very important thing to do, and I would love to see a track width meter, or, you know, somewhere where you can change that, maybe in the tuning section. I don't know, you know, it's really up to Turn 10 and Playground Games where they put that, but I think a track width meter could be very useful. Now the next one, I know it's going to be quite hard to do, but considering all the cars are imported from early Forza games, which will save them a shit ton of time, I don't see why interior customization isn't possible. So that means Esparco rims. That means, you know, literally going in, like with the shift knobs. I want to see Esparco shift knobs, Momo shift knobs, whatever. You know, the gauges. I want to be able to switch out the gauges, put on some turbo gauges, like Midnight Club did. Midnight Club did, for example. I don't see why it couldn't be added, especially if we are going to Japan. It's something which is really prominent, neons, like in interior neons. I know it would be something which would be hard to do for every single car, so maybe you might have to limit it. So maybe first you roll it out for JDM cars, and then you kind of progressively go to muscle cars, and then for muscle cars you wouldn't put the neon in, or maybe you just put the steering wheel or something across those lines, or maybe a short shifter, whatever. You know, I think that's a really... I don't know why it hasn't been in Forza recently. I know for Gran Turismo you can actually put gauges inside your car, and Gran Turismo lacks a lot of customization which Forza has, and that's something which the Gran Turismo has been plagued for. It's, you know, not being able to personalize your car. I feel like the bare minimum you should be able to do is actually change your color, and you can only do just a bit more in Gran Turismo. That's where Forza has really come up on top. But with Forza Horizon, I want to see him take it a bit further and go with the cockpit view customization, which I obviously previously just talked about. I think that could be something which is really just something that an open world game like this hasn't done in a while. Obviously Need for Speed doesn't have cockpit view, and there's reasons for that, I'm assuming. But the reason, you know, they would want to put that in there is you've already got the cockpit view. Your goal is to be better than the Crew and Need for Speed. The Crew already has cockpit view customization. You can change your interiors, you can change, you know, minor things. You can't change the steering wheel or anything across those lines, but I do think it's something which could be done in Forza. It would take a bit of effort, and it may or may not be too late in the development cycle to include that, but it's definitely a great, you know, addition. And I think if they don't do it for this Horizon, it's definitely something which they should do for the following Horizon afterwards. And finally, going on to my last point, I want to talk about the vinyl marketplace. So currently you can search any design of Forza Horizon 2 and basically just find whatever design you want. But I want to see a marketplace come back. I want to see a place where you can literally put up your design for real life money, and if it is good enough, people will buy it. This just adds so much to the game. It adds longevity to the game. It also adds an opportunity for you to earn money and have a living, breathing economy, which again is something which could be very profitable for Turn 10 if done right. I don't know why the storefront just disappeared after, you know, the 360 series of games. It just kind of disappeared, and I don't really know why. You'll see me in this video. In fact, I actually bought a really nice livery off the storefront, so I don't see why a storefront has disappeared. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't come back, especially with the Xbox One having such good internet capabilities with the cloud and whatnot. So yeah, I want to see a storefront come back. I don't see any reason why it could. If it doesn't come back, again, I will be disappointed. I think this could go ahead and also transfer into the tunes and other elements. You could even have a car storefront, similar to how Forza 4 was. I think a storefront overall needs to come back where you can trade and buy and sell. It adds so many opportunities, adds so many possibilities, and it also adds so much longevity to the game. And that's one of the major keys to just making a game live over time, especially if this game is going to try to last 2 years, is to try and make it, you know, as replayable as possible. And if you can sell your stuff online, then that is like the ultimate replayability. You can't get much more replayability than that. So that is what I think should be in Forza Horizon 3 in terms of customization. I hope you guys agree. Do you guys have any different ideas? Make sure to go ahead, leave it in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. If you do want to go ahead and tweet this to Turn 10 Playground Games, be my guest. I have tried many times before, and they just don't listen to me. So if you want to go ahead and try, you can go ahead and be my guest. But that's it from me. So I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.